Good morning, everyone. My name is Riyad, and today is Wednesday, the 1st of August, and we're going to present to you the daily technical outlook by Windsor Brokers. To begin with, if we look at the economical calendar for today, and we're going to find out it's almost full of important economical data. First of all, we have some figures coming up soon after 10 minutes almost on the Spanish manufacturing PMI. Previous numbers was 41.1, and we have no expectations for that. The same for the Italian manufacturing PMI, which is going to be released around after 40 minutes. Previous number is 44.6, expected to be 44.2. The important data for today is the manufacturing PMI for the sterling, which is going to be released at 11:30 Cyprus time. Previous numbers were 48.6 and expected also to be the same at 48.6. Today at 3:15 and the afternoon at Cyprus time also we're expecting some data on the U.S. economy, which is the non-employment change released by the Automatic Data Processing Corporation. The numbers for the last month were 176,000 and expected to drop to 121,000. Of course, if we're going to see something lower than 120, it's going to be considered as bad for the dollar, and if it's higher from 120, it's going to be expected to be good for the dollar. Also in the US, we're expecting today some data around 5 o'clock on the ISM manufacturing PMI. The purchasing manager index for the previous session was 49.7 and expected to rise to 50.3. And next data or important data for today is the crude oil inventories. Previous numbers were 2.7 million barrels and expected to be in minus almost 1.5 barrels. Last but not least, today around 9:15 in the evening, we have the Federal Reserve Monetary Committee statement. We're expecting them to speak a little bit about stimulus and about the economy. Probably they're going to say a few words about the European situation and how it could affect the dollar. And also we have the federal fund rate, which is expected to be the same at 0.25%. Looking at the news since last night, we can see that some data was released on the Asian market. We've seen the Chinese manufacturing data dropping to an 8-month low to 50.1, and which caused also an extra, let's say an extra, what do you call it, like an outlook that the economy is gonna go even worse, and we're expecting a recession in the Asian markets. Of course, this will affect most European and American countries, and we've seen that some leading banks in Europe profits were dropping. Also, it's causing a domino effect all around the world. So probably if there is no stimulus hopes like the ECB president said, probably it's gonna dampen the euro and the markets even lower. If we take a look at the chart, and we've seen the euro against the dollar, we can see that yesterday's rise was almost similar to a let's call it a higher low pattern. It started a couple of days ago on the 30th of July. Second low was made on the 31st of July, and third low was made today around 4 in the morning. you can see that it's almost making this pattern, which is causing the euro to try to test the higher areas of the 1.2325 zone. A break above this area would open further upside towards the 123.50 area, and then it would go even higher. And on the daily chart, it's expected to test the area which we always are waiting for, which is the 124.10 area or the 124.30, which is the previous lows of the 28th of June that was broken on the beginning of July. From the downside, we can see that first support lies at yesterday's lows in the afternoon, which is the 122.70 or 65 area, these areas. Also, a break there would trigger further drop towards the 30th of July low, which is 122.25 area, and break there would start the downturn towards the 121.65 zone, but there is like a small point lying in between, which we cannot see on the chart. It's because of the rise that happened before. However, it's not a very good support level, which is the 121.90, but probably we can look at it if the market reaches there. We can see now that the euro is trying to test the 123.25 area. We will see if this point is actually broken. Probably it's going to go higher towards the 123.50, and this point, if it's breaking, we're going to expect a sharp rise toward the 124.10 and see if it's going to test that zone and if it's going to break it or not. Sterling against dollar, however, is moving on the opposite direction almost, or at least it's moving in a sideway range. Of course, because it's already have reached the barrier of the medium term point, which is the 1.5770 zone, highest level since this area, which is the 22nd of March. We can see also that there's like a pattern of a head and shoulder happening. This is the left shoulder, this is the head, and this is the right shoulder. So basically, after this pattern had occurred, and after yesterday's break of 156.70 area, we've seen a very sharp drop on the sterling, but then it went back up again, and it almost closed at the same prices, which is showing us a doji or a shooting star pattern in the candle, which will give us a hint that probably it's going to reverse or it's going to drop sharp. Now, to decide, we're going to monitor the 157 zone. Any rise above this point, we're going to remove the head and shoulder pattern, and it's going to be more to the upside to try to test the higher levels. If not, if this level was maintained for today, probably we're going to see a drop towards 155.90 and 155.50 area. The initial target is going to be 155. If this area was remained intact, the 157.00. Ahead of 157 figure, we have 157.25, a small point of yesterday's high, and then we have the main areas of 157.70 is the medium term upside of the sideway trend, as you can see on the long run for the past 2 months. Dollar Swiss, similar to euro, also euro is rising. We can see the Swiss is rising against the dollar, and the dollar is dropping against the Swiss. So currently there isn't much support levels. The only way is to try to test yesterday's low, which was 97.40. A break there would open the lows for the 27th of July, which is the 96.95 area, these areas. So if it's also similar to the euro, as you can see, it has this lower high pattern, and a continuation of this pattern would open the area of currently at 79.25, or it could be this area, the 97.25 and 97.10. But however, the most important points lies at yesterday's low and next the lowest point of the 27th of July. So probably a break here would open the 96.95 zone, and also a break on that low would open further acceleration towards lowest point, which is the 96.78. You can see it on the daily chart, which is this area. Now, I believe that this is a very important area, which is similar to the 124.10 zone of the euro. You can see that this is the highest point of the 28th of June that was broken on the 5th of July. So probably it's going to go back and touch the previous resistance level, and they're going to become like support level. We're going to monitor those areas and see if it's going to break. So we've highlighted this area as a bold line to give us like a more importance of this zone. On the upside, you can see that it's also creating a lower high, even from the highest point that was made on the 24th of July. Break there would open more acceleration towards the 98.68 or 98.70, which is the low of the 25th that was broken on the 26th, and then we might see a rise towards the 99.70, the highest point it reached during last month. For dollar yen, yesterday it was moving in a sideways action. We've seen it today that it has been moving with a little bit more volatility. It already reached the support of the previous low of the 23rd of July, the area of 77.90. Almost it dropped below this area with like 2 or 3 pips, and then it jumped back up again. Currently the rise should be reaching 78.30 or 78.34, which is this area of the highest point that made the price drop, and it's also the lowest point of the down channel that was broken during the same day after 4 or 5 hours. So currently we can see that it's rising, probably going towards the 78.30, 34 area. A break there would open the 40 area, which is 10 pips away, so probably we can discard this point and regard it as a minor point, and the break of this area would open more upside towards the 78.70, which is the previous peak and the low that was broken during the downtrend. And finally, the most important point is the 79.10.15, which is the area that is capping the yen up till now. On the downside, any drop below the 77.95 would open a drop towards the 77.65, lowest point since the beginning of June, and this point would open further acceleration downwards towards the important long-term numbers of the yen on the weekly chart, which is the 75 60 zone, which is the lowest point it ever reached. However, currently the most major points we can spot is this area of the 78.30 and the 77.90 zone. We're gonna wait and see if there's a break of these areas to decide the trend of the market. Currently it's been moving in a sideway, a little bit choppy to the upside and then a little bit to the downside. More volatility today, so probably we're going to see a break today of those 2 points, and we're going to decide on the market trend. Let's take a look at gold. Okay, gold on the daily chart, we can see that it's still ranging between the sideway medium to long-term trend between 1,530 and 1,635. Currently, it's been trying to go higher, but it reaches a few days ago on the 27th, it reaches the 1,629, and we said that a drop might reach the peak of the uptrend that was broken after a day, which is the highest point of the 25th of July. That was broken on the 26th, which is the 1,609 or 1,610. A small point yesterday was spotted at 1,614, but this remains the most important point. A break of this area would open a drop towards almost 1,600, and the drop there would open a break there would open a further drop towards 1,581, which is the area where the uptrend have started. Currently, on the upside, we can see that there is a small areas where it actually broke yesterday, which is the 1,620. Any rise higher than the 20 would indicates that we might see a test on the 1,630 or 35 area. If not, probably it's going to try to test 1,610 and then 1,600. This was the technical analysis for the day. I hope you enjoyed it, and I would like to start with a question now. If you have any question, we can send them to the chatting session. Thank you.